Alright, this video is for Renan Costa Moraes, and if I murdered that, I'm sorry. Okay, so the first thing that I would say right off the bat is you're understanding the foreshortening, you're understanding basic anatomy, for what this is. It's, a little bit of exaggeration and stuff like that, but that's okay. Um, but there are some things that pop out at me that shows me that you're not thinking about it as an entirety. And the first thing is the lighting and shadows. So you have your lighting source, and we're just going to go with green because green will pop out real nice here. Or blue, we'll go blue. Okay, so you have your lighting source, and it's coming from said direction here. Um, there we go. So, like so. And which is fine because you have your light here, you have your light here, and you have your light here, and it's fading off, which is good. Um, you probably could put a little bit more light here, and then this is where it gets odd because if you notice, it's pretty much this way here, but as it works down, it comes this way. So keep your lighting consistent. That's one thing that I would say right off the bat. The next thing is it's simple things like paying attention to your draw through, and that basically means like if I were to draw my straight line across here, you see how bent that is? So that needs to be adjusted. Um, and positioning this feels awkward here, so I would kind of position that a little bit differently. So what I would do is I'm just going to start off with some simple things. First thing is, let's go here, and I'm just going to, we're just going to grab like this. Okay, so the first thing I would do is I would grab this, and I'm going to cut this for a new layer, select transform, and I'm putting my pivot point here, and I'm straightening this out, and I'm also probably moving it this way. So that's going to be a much more representational aspect of that. The next thing is I'm going to get rid of this bar here, and let's paint up real quick here. I'm just going to really quickly block in this paint here. Okay, so, oops, there we go. Okay, so the next thing is you've got the light again coming from the side. So if the light is coming from the side, what's going to happen is these knuckles are going to appear here, a little bit here, and a little bit more here, and some down there. So it's going to be an overlaying effect. And then the next thing you forgot is the shadows that it's casting. So here, the shadows are kind of blocking in. I'm just going to block out like this. So you see how that shadow casts this, and you'd have a shadow cast it across the body here, like so, and so on and so forth. And if this is being pushed back, it might have some lighter light sources in the back corner here. So that's another thing that you want to pay attention to. The way he's holding the shield feels awkward. Do a little weapon research. It's because this is going to come over here, and I'm just going to really quick paint this off like so. And this, get rid of this, get rid of this. Okay, so this shield would actually come back over here. Same thing over here is back like so. And this band would come across like so. Now, the next thing is, I'm just going to kind of paint in. The next problem you have is you're not thinking about wraparound. And what that means for wraparound is if you look at your beads, they stop right up in the front here. What they should do is they should come over here and wrap around the body. Same thing over here is wrapping around the body. This chain stops here, and it should have some links. Let's see here. We'll have some links going under the body, behind that. So you're not thinking about how things wrap around the surface on some of the the other aspects of things. So what I would do is, the first thing is I would move, let's put in something like this, and then maybe just kind of put that chin falling down like that. This is going to come over and fall across the body. This is going to kind of darken up here. So you're going to get things like this. And the lighting would be more proficient here versus here. It's going to block out. So those are things that you want to pay attention to. And you might have, depending on how this body is going to fall, you might have this fall down a little bit more. Let me grab this. And so you might have like maybe the shadow come over the this particular piece here like this. I'll just kind of redden that out. So think about that as well. Think about how your light source is falling on top of your other stuff. As far as like this goes here, this would be kind of darker shadows that would be in the shadow, and it wouldn't be so prevalent. You want your brights. I'm just going to go back and kind of push your brights back in there, like so, and like that. I'll put one back here. So that's going to give you kind of more to deal with. Now, the one thing that I don't like about the whole thing is this black border that you tried to paint around it. Now, the problem with that is it's like you're looking out a window, and I get that. I understand what you're going for, but the problem is, one, it's an irregular shape, so it's kind of all over the place, and two, you're cutting down some of the aspects of what lighting is basically giving you. So in this case, what I would say is, if you've got this dark here, I would say you want to add in some of this light source, like so, to kind of show you the illusion that you're actually looking in. You can make it dark, but that's giving you that light source to kind of work with. And then also you want to look at things like this here. So you've got this strong light source, but again, let's go darker here. You got this strong light source, but you have no shadows from the little pieces. Things like that you want to pay attention to. This would cast more of a shadow over here versus what you've got now. You would cast shadows coming in from here on this side and on this side as well. So it's little details like that. And then pay attention to the way things are kind of, like this is pointing in the armor here. And the problem is it's kind of pointing at an odd angle. And you clipped it off because you've got this, and I really think getting rid of this is going to help out quite a bit. You've got this odd angle going on. I'm just going to kind of paint some of this out here. And okay, so grab some of this. So with this odd angle stuff here, we're just going to kind of paint off like that. But now do you see how it's not so close and so off? And then the next thing is we can just grab this. I'm going to just grab this and select transform it, and make it a little bit more exaggerated, and then kind of give it that skew that it's looking forward, like so. Okay, so it's little things like that are really kind of pushing the little details are things that you want to pay attention to. And those are like here, you've got the shadow again, and I'm just gonna go in the shadow here. You've got the shadow and it's dark reds, but the problem is it's all in light, so you don't have any of that aspect of what's in dark, and you want to really kind of keep that consistently dark here, okay? Because especially since the body's casting that shadow, let's cast that shadow kind of away from that light. And you see how just by doing that little bit of shadow cast, it's giving you a much better, much more clear idea of how things are, how the lighting is. I would say get a mannequin or doll or an action figure and set up the lighting source in the way you want, so you know how things are falling, and a lot of that thought is taken out for you. All right, so, and then let's just clean up this real quick here. And just kind of like that. Oops. Right. So something like that. So you see how that, like, getting rid of that frame makes the composition feel a lot better. The other thing too about composition is you've got a tangent going on here, and a tangent going on here. You don't want to cut those off. You want to, widen up the composition to basically give it. Let's just select transform the whole thing here. And actually we can make that a little bit smaller, and then we can go up here and kind of paint that out. Like so. And that gets rid of, this gets rid of the tangent that you're looking for. Clean up some of this here. Like that. That gets rid of that tangent, and it doesn't make everything so hard to kind of look at, as far as just make uncomfortable points that you need to clean up. So watch the tangents, watch those things as well. See, I mean, like even something like that is going to help out a bit. So always pay attention to composition while you're drawing it, so you can fix those tangent issues. All right, so the other thing is watch your light. Again, with the light source, watch it, because if you've got this strong of a light source here, you're going to have that strong of a light source coming up over here. And we are going to also get on the ears, and probably on the back side here, probably on the back of the head as well. So it's little things like that that are going to kind of sell, and then over here too, you're going to have a little bit of a back shadow too. So, and then this light source is completely different. So you need to pay attention to this. So like this goes over here, but then this comes up over here. So the lighting was backwards actually for some of that stuff. So pay attention to those little details. And I think that'll help you a lot. All right, I hope that helps.